Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the primary, secondary and tertiary treatment of wastewater from chapter Characteristics of Wastewater and Wastewater Treatment. This is just a diagram which show the step-by-step treatment on sewage water. Here we can see first of all whenever the raw water or the raw sewage are insert or pass through uh, preliminary treatment which include bar rack or the screen. Then after that screening it is passed through a grid chamber, then equalization basin. Then these are three steps including preliminary treatment. After that, then the primary treatment are done on sewage water, in which the primary settling uh, is to be done on sewage water. Then after that sewage water pass through for the secondary treatment, where biological treatment is done, and after that the advanced wastewater treatment is done, and then that water is allowed to dispose in a stream of water or on land. First of all, there is some treatment system. We know that the preliminary treatment, which is almost remove the material that can cause the operational problem. Here all that material get removed. Then this water is after this stage the primary treatment is done on sewage water, where uh, approximate 60% of solid and 35% of biological oxygen demand get removed. After that, in secondary treatment, nearly 85% of board and solid present in that water get removed. Then advanced treatment done on that sewage water, where 90% of board and solids, then nitrogen and phosphorus are get removed. And finally this water uh, treated under the disinfection stage, and again this water pass through treatment which is the advanced wastewater treatment, and after that that water is allowed to dispose in a stream. Then let us discuss primary treatment. In primary treatment, it separates the suspended solids, then greases from wastewater. Wastewater is held in a tank for the several hours, which is allowing the particles to settle to the bottom and the greases to float to the top. Means in a primary treatment we can see that whenever sludge is allowed to pass or the treated under the primary treatment, then all the solid particles are uh, settled in that tank, uh, settle at the bottom at that tank, and all the light materials like greases, oils are floating on the top of that sewage. These solids are drawn off from the bottom of that tank, then skim of the top receives further treatment as sludge. The clarified wastewater flows on to the next step of the wastewater treatment. Next stage is the settling or the sedimentation. In this stage, the solid and liquid separation process is done, in which the suspension is separated into two phases. Means whenever these all are material are allowed to settle in a settling tank, or this stage is also called the sedimentation, then the two phases solid and liquid get separated. Then clarified uh, that the living material at the top of the sedimentation tank is not allowed to overflow. Then the concentration or the concentrated sludge leaves at the bottom of the sedimentation tank, which is at the bottom of that tank. Then what is the purpose of that settling? Then main purpose, we can directly say that two phases get separated, where the solid and liquid can be distinguished, and we can separate that two layers. We can also remove the core dispersed phase, then remove the coagulant and the flocculated impurities present in that sewage. Then it is also help to remove the precipitated impurity after the chemical treatment done on that sewage. Then to settle the sludge or the biomass after activated sludge process, uh, in sludge process in a trickling by a trickling filter. These are the main purposes for settling the sewage. Here this one is the diagram, which is diagram for the primary settling basin. Now we can see that the blue colored, in which that the left hand side we can see the uh, inlet. This inlet is used for the influent wastewater. At the bottom there is the sludge treatment disposal. It is the hopper. Then this after primary, we can say that right hand side there is again a second arrow where that after primary treatment this water is allowed, means that sewage is allowed to pass for the secondary treatment. In this settling tank, we can see in diagram that there is one rotatory drive, which there is a water level we can see. At the right flight in the skimming position, there is a one head shaft where the rotation of the that belt is continuously done so that this water or that sludge get mixed properly. There are we can see in diagram there are the four shaft which are in rotation, and then at the bottom there is the sludge hopper. It is also the floor slope. There is a floor slope towards the sludge hopper. There is again one opening inlet. There is one inlet where the effluent is to be inserted, and for the another there is effluent can be removed from this one. This is a general diagram of the primary settling basin. There are some basic definitions for this treatment. We can or you can keep it in your mind that the sedimentation, this is also known as the settling, or it may be defined as the removal of solid particles from suspension by a settling under the gravity. Means by using a gravitational force, there is a simple tank where is that sludge is allowed to settle, so that large particles which are heavy that get settled at the bottom of the tank, and that the lighter particles are float on the surface. Then the clarification, it is usually referred specifically to the function of sedimentation tank, which is removing the suspended matters from water to give the clarified or transparent effluent in a broader sense. Clarification could include the flotation and filtration. Means this is just a filtration. Then next term is the thickening. It is in sedimentation tank. It is a process where settled impurities are concentrated and compressed on the floor or compacted on that floor of the tank, and the sludge is collecting by the hopper. It's called the thickening. Then the concentrated impurities withdrawn or removed from the bottom of the sedimentation tank is called the sludge, while the material that float on the top of the tank is called the scum. These are the diagram which are show that the primary settling basins. Diagram of here we can see that these tanks are rectangular in shape, which having 3 to 24 meters of wide, and about 15 to 100 meter of long, then and 3 to 90 meter in generally in a diameter. Then detention time for of this settling tank is 1.5 to 2.5 hours. Then overflow rate is 25 to 60 cubic meter per day. And typical removal is the solid 50 to 60% of solids, and 30 to 35% of board. These are done in this primary settling tank. Here the primary treatment is over. Then let us see the secondary treatment. This secondary treatment is a biological treatment process that remove the dissolved organic matter from wastewater. The sewage microorganisms are cultivated and added to the wastewater. Then the microorganisms use the organic matter from sewage as their food supply. This process leads to be a decomposition of biodegradation of organic waste. Means in this process, the biodegradation of organic waste is done by using that microorganisms, or done by the microorganisms, is called the secondary process, or alternatively called the biological process. Then let us see which type of reaction exactly done in secondary treatment. Basic approach is to use the aerobic biological degradation. We know that the aerobic degradation or aerobic treatment means which is done in the presence of microorganism in the presence of oxygen. It's called the aerobic process. In previous lecture we discussed about the aerobic and anaerobic process. Then whenever in a secondary treatment, that sewage which containing the organic carbon is degraded in the presence of microorganisms and oxygen, then it remove the CO2 and new cells. Means these are the process. The objective to allow the bond to be extended in the treatment plant rather than that in the stream. The basic ingredients: the high density of microorganisms, then the good contact between the organisms and waste provided in a mixing, then provide the high level of oxygen, because this is the aerobic process, so that oxygen is important for this aerobic condition. If the oxygen percentage is low, or in the absence of oxygen, then anaerobic conditions is to be done. So they this oxygen level or the aeration is must be a high level. Then favorable temperature, pH, nutrients, design and operations. Then no toxic chemical present to control the industrial inputs. These are the basic ingredients or their conditions for the secondary treatment. Then next is the dispersed growth versus the fixed growth. The two approaches of the secondary treatment is to be done. First one is the fixed film and suspended film systems. Dispersed growth, it is called the suspended organisms. Then activated sludge, organic oxidation ponds, and aerated stabilization ponds are important. And for the fixed growth, there is a fixed growth means trickling filter and rotating biological contractors. These are important for the fixed growth. Then what exactly done in the secondary treatment? In secondary treatment of the wastewater could be achieved by a chemical unit process, such as the chemical oxidation, coagulation, flocculation, and sedimentation, chemical precipitation, etc., or by employing the biological process. It may be aerobic or anaerobic, where the bacteria are used as a catalyst for removal of the pollutants. For the removal of organic matters from the wastewater, biological treatment process are commonly used all over the world. Hence, for the treatment of wastewater like sewage and many of the agro-based industries and food processing industries, the wastewater And secondary treatment will invariably consist of the biological reactor either in a single stage or in a multi-stage as per the requirement to meet the discharge norms. The next is the biological treatment. In biological treatment, uh, wastewater is to be removed the organic matter from a wastewater which is present in soluble and colloidal form, or to remove the nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, which are present in wastewater get removed. The microorganisms are used to convert the colloidal and dissolved uh, carbon uh, carbon containing organic matter into various gases and into the cell tissue. These cell tissues having a high specific gravity than water, which can be removed in settling tank. Hence, to complete the treatment of the wastewater will not be achieved unless the cell tissue are removed. The biological removal of degradable organic involve a sequence of steps including the mass transfer, adsorption, then absorption and biochemical enzymatic reactions, then stabilization of organic substances by microorganisms in a natural aquatic environment or in a controlled environment of biological treatment system is accomplished by two distinct metabolism process. These are the respiration and synthesis. This is also called as the catabolism and anabolism respectively. Then next is the respiration. A portion of available organic or inorganic substrate is oxidized by biochemical reactions being catalyzed by a large portion molecules known as enzymes produced by microorganism to liberate the energy. The oxidation or dehydration or dehydrogenation can be done both in aerobic and anaerobic conditions. Under the aerobic condition, the oxygen acts as a final electron acceptor for the oxidation process, and under the anaerobic condition, the sulfur, nitrites, carbon dioxide, and organic compounds act as the electron acceptor. So the metabolism and is done, and the end product is the respirations are true inorganic like CO2, water, ammonia and H2S are to be released. Energy derived from the respiration is utilized by the microorganism to synthesis a new protoplasma through the another set of enzymes. So the catalyst or the catalyzed reaction from the remaining portion of the substrate and the what you were called that the heterophilic and the heterophobic. So the heterophilic microorganisms derive the energy required for the cell synthesis, and then through the oxidation of the organic matter, and autotrophic microorganism derive the energy for the synthesis of either from inorganic substrates or from the photosynthesis. These are the respiration process in which the energy is also required by the microorganisms for maintenance of their life activities. In the absence of any suitable external substrate, the microorganism derive this energy through the oxidation of their own protoplasm. Such a process is also known as the endogenous respiration or decay process. Decay means to reducing. The metabolism and products is to be done. The metabolism process in both aerobic and anaerobic process are almost similar. So the yield of energy in an aerobic process using oxygen as electron acceptor is much higher than that of anaerobic condition. This is the reason why the aerobic system liberated more energy and thus produced more new cells than the anaerobic system. Then the next condition is the catabolism and anabolism. The most important mechanism for the removal of organic material in biological wastewater treatment synthesis is by bacterial metabolism. Then the metabolism refers to the utilization of the organic material either as the source of energy or as a source of for the synthesis of cellular matter. When the organic material is used as an energy source, it is transferred into the stable end products. A process is known as the catabolism. In this process, the anabolism, the organic material is transferred and incorporated into the cell mass. Anabolism is an energy consuming process and it is only possible if the catabolism occurs at the same time to supply the energy which is needed for the synthesis of cellular material. Thus the process of catabolism and anabolism are interdependent, means which are independent and occur simultaneously. Then the next is the types of microbial metabolism. There are aerobic microorganisms, then anoxic microorganisms, then obligatory anaerobic, then the facultative anaerobes. These are the next one. Let us see the first one, aerobic microorganisms. This is the one of the type of microbial metabolism. When the molecular oxygen is used in terminal electron acceptor in respiratory metabolism, it is referred as the aerobic respiration. The organism that exists only when there is the molecular oxygen supply are called as the obligatory aerobic. Then second one is the anoxic microorganisms. For some respiratory microorganisms, the oxidized inorganic compounds such as sulfate, nitrate, nitrite can be function as electron acceptor. Hence, in absence of the molecular oxygen, these are called the anoxic microorganism. Then third one is the obligatory anaerobic. These are the microorganisms, those generate energy by fermentation process and can exist in the absence of oxygen. Then the facultative anaerobes means these microorganisms have the ability to grow in the absence or in the presence of oxygen. So these can be divided into two types again. Then last one is the facultative anaerobes. Those can be shifted from fermentative to anaerobic respiration, respiratory metabolism, which is depending on the condition of oxygen available or not available. These are the condition. And last one is the aerotolerant anaerobes. These follow the strictly fermentative metabolism and are insensitive if oxygen is present in the system. Hope so you understand all the concept of primary, secondary and process on sewage treatment. Thank you.